Assalamu alaikum. I hope people are fine and doing good. Today we are going to talk about Azadi March, Aurat Azadi March, which they are going to celebrate on the 8th of March, uh, and it is celebrated all over the world on this particular day. But in Pakistan, it creates a lot of controversies, a lot of debate on the mainstream media and on the social media. Some people start abusing women that, oh, you are not allowed to do this, you are given right by Islam and by culture and by tradition. So go back and sit down in your home and do your cooking and whatever stuff you are casually doing. While there is another section in our society who think that yes, women are right, they are oppressed, they are not given their due right, so they must come and they must protest and they must ask for the rights which they are being deprived of. So we are having two extremes in our society. Some favor everything from the women march, while other are opposed to it at any cost. We will try to understand why people say that these women come out every year on the march and with the play card, with the slogans, and with the demands, what they want actually, uh, what are their demands, and why they come out, and why some people oppose them. So first of all, let's talk about a brief history of this feminism, because without understanding the feminism, you will not understand the Aurat March. Actually, feminism is a movement which educates the rights of women in the different sphere of society. Most of people misunderstand this very term, feminism, and they equate it to the uh, meaning of anti-man movement or the domination of men by women or conquering of the empire which man has created by women. But it is not the case. In a simple terms, feminism means the demand of equalities from women in political, economic, and social sphere of life. They want equality with men, and they are saying that there should be no discrimination on the basis of gender, whether you are transgender, whether you are a man, whether you are a woman, you must be treated equally. That is the basic essence of that moment. But most of the people, they think that this is anti-man, this is announcement of war against men, but that is not the case. Anyway, why women in Pakistan come out on the 8th March with different slogans, with the different placards, and why some people hate them, why they want them to stay in the home. We will discuss this. It's very interesting topic, believe me. Okay, so first of all, what women demand. Our society is patriarchal society. What it mean? It mean it is uh, male dominant society. Male is dominant, abu is dominant, bhaiya is dominant, and even son is dominant in that society. Women want that it should be based on the equality. It should not be the dominance of men or women. They need to be equal. uh, so that is their main demand, that women must be treated equal with men. Another thing is that they demand equality for women's in term of economics, in term of politics, in term of the social status of women. So they need that discrimination must be eliminated altogether from the society. Well, some people think that these demands are not legitimate. These demands are not valid. Why? So they put forward the Islam. You know that when we get stuck, we try to use Islam as a shield. But that is the psyche of our nation. That they think that Islam has given rights, the due rights to women. Women were given rights by Islam when the old world was treating them as a shoes, as a properties or as a commodity, and there was no respect of women, and that is true. That 1400 years ago, there was no concept of women dignity in the society, but Islam gave them all the rights which women desired. Islam gave them political rights. Islam gave them economic rights. Like if you are Muslim and listening this, and there are so many verses in Quran about the inheritance of women. In the same manner, they have been given the property rights. Uh, they have been given the rights to have a say in the society. And we have different example from the history, from the time of Prophet Muhammad SAW, and from the time of the Khulafai Rashidin. So there is no doubt that Islam has given them right, but the thing is that whether we are giving those rights to them. Yeah, the first thing is that more than, if not 90%, 80% of people in Pakistan do not give women a due share in their inheritance, uh, while Islam has given them. So, saying that Islam has given them the rights is not enough. We need to give them right as well. Okay, apart from going to the religious aspects of that issue, let's talk about the grown realities of Pakistan. Women are almost 51 to 52% of this country. So it is a um, big chunk of population. Sorry if that chunk is not proper word. You can say the a big part of that population. They are almost 51 to 52% in Pakistan. Now let us check, let us analyze, let us see that what is their representation in our parliament. How many women we have? Yeah, this is the big question. Yes, what they are demanding. So, uh, by looking at the parliament, by the national to the National Assembly and Senate, women representation is almost negligible. Then go to the provincial assemblies. What is their political representation? It is negligible. So, if they are coming out and they demand the political rights, they demand the representation in the politics, so then they are right. We must listen to them. If we are not supporting them, we should not be against them either. The second thing is that the women which people see in the parliament, in the National Assembly, in Senate, they are not selected through elections. Actually, parties choose these women. It is actually selection, not elections. As a result, poor women from the rural societies are ignored. Most of the women parliamentarians, they are from the big families. They are industrialists. They have influence in different sphere, maybe economically, politically, or something else. But they are not common women. So their rights are not these are just you can say a showman, not representation of women. They are not representing the rural women. They are not the true representative. They are chosen one. They are selected. Most of people think that Imran Khan is selected. In same manner, all women parliamentarians, whether they are in a center or they are in a provincial assemblies, they all are selected. So they are not representing the women. The second thing is the jobs, the economic sphere, and that is that women constitute more than 52%, but their representations in the job is negligible. For example, let's take the example of high courts. There are almost 113 high court judges, and only 6 of them are women. This is not representation. It's less than even, I can't even calculate them in a percentage. In the same manner, in police, they are just 1.8%. So that is not representation. That is not a due share. So if they are coming out and they are demanding their share in the jobs, that is quite legitimate. That's quite a valid point. So my point is that, like, before abusing women, before, like, going against it, at least give a glance, give a short look at what the problems are. Let's talk about the status of women in society. We have subjugated them to the domestic violence, to harassments in the public places, and all of you people know that, like, uh, while going in the public transport, they, like, tolerate a lot of like, staring, like, mm, yeah, you guys do this, I know. A lot of harami people are there. They, like, stare women like that all the time. They blink eyes. So many, like, inappropriate gestures, and that is not, like, pleasing to them. It's harassment. Believe me, it's, like, quite. I can't explain in words. It's quite disgusting, yes, but they have to tolerate this. uh, Asks, like, girls, if your sisters, your daughters are going to universities or jobs, sometime go and sit with them and ask them that, my daughter, my sister, or even your wife, ask them that what you are, like, facing in a society. Then you will understand that what is harassment, and why, like, these women come out with the placards and they talk about the harassment. So this is, like, in this is our society. We have to admit it, we have to accept it. uh, but no, Islam has given them all right, our tradition has given them all right, and they don't have right to ask, they don't have right to, like, demand these things. We are against it as a society, and we will not listen to them. We will not pay them, like, the due attentions. If you are not, if you are, like, against those women's who will come out with that mm, disgusting, could use the word, because some of their placards are quite disgusting, to be honest. On the 8th March in Islamabad and different cities of Pakistan, if you think that all their rights are given, and they do not need to come out, start from your family, uh, and observe that whether your father has given equal rights to the your sister. You are not violent to your sisters and to your wife and even to your mother. Yes, I think in most of the cases you will witness domestic violence. People are beating their wives with impunity. There is no law, and actually there are a lot of laws, but, like, they don't have access to the law enforcement agencies. They don't have access to the judiciary, and they have to tolerate this. Second thing is, most of the women in Pakistan, they are not given, they are not, like, given the, economic rights, the inheritance which Islam has given to them. We are not giving to them. So before going to blame these women, before going to abuse them, at least, like, we should admit that being a society, we have failed uh, the very creature of women. We have not given them due right. We are keep exploiting them as a society. We need to accept it, and on an individual level and on the collective level, we need to address these issues. uh, I am not favoring those women who come out with those vulgar cards, with play cards like मैं आपकी बिस्तर गर्म नहीं करूँगी, or too many vulgar words. Even I can't say that here, मैं इस तरह बैठ सकती हूँ, and so many things, like, that's quite vulgar. And this is not how you demand your rights. This is not the proper method. I am totally against it. But before going to criticize those small number of women, being a responsible citizen of this city, this state, being the educated person of this state, being the expert of the some of the issues of society and politics, we need to at least look at those problems and talk whatever is right. As a society, we have failed women. We are not giving them education. Their literacy rate is very low. We are not giving them political representation. We are not giving them economic due shares. We are not giving them social status in a society. So all these things must be addressed on urgent basis. They need to be given uh, their due shares in jobs, in education, in economics, and they must be given political representations, not the present one. Not I'm not in the favor of this status quo that choosing some already privileged women from the industrialist and that elite class and putting them in the parliament. They are not the true representative of the women in the rural areas, in the rodent societies. They are not true representatives. The elections of the women must be same as that election of the men. Uh, then they will be a true representative of the women, and in that way they will be able to address the issues of common women. In the same manner, we must ponder on that issue, and we must try our best on an individual level and a collective level to address this issue. And rather than looking at one side of the picture and deciding everything, we need to be more holistic about the issues, and we need to look at the different pictures. We need to compare our society with societies around the world in which gender equality is good. And at the last of I think this video is getting very lengthy. Pakistan is the sixth most dangerous state for the women, according to survey. So at the end, I hope that you like this video. I tried to give my analysis and in a balanced manner. But still, if you have some disagreement, if you do not disagree with me on some things, you can put it in a comment, and you can make me agree with you on that particular thing. If you are going if you are going to give me a proper logic, a proper argument. Thank you very much.